Have you ever wondered what causes an enlarged tongue? In the world of medical mysteries, an enlarged tongue, or as it's scientifically known, macroglossia, is a condition that's as fascinating as it is perplexing. It's a topic that's seldom discussed, yet holds a significant impact on the lives of those who experience it. So, what exactly is macroglossia? By definition, it refers to a tongue that's larger than normal. Now, normal is a relative term here, as the size of one's tongue can vary based on several factors, including body size, age, and even ethnicity. However, when we say enlarged, we mean a tongue that's so large it causes difficulties. This could range from issues with speaking, eating, and in some cases, even breathing. While it's not a condition that's regularly in the spotlight, macroglossia isn't as rare as you might think. In fact, it's estimated that a significant number of people worldwide experience some form of tongue enlargement at some point in their lives. This could be a temporary condition caused by an allergic reaction or a more permanent situation due to genetic factors or disease. The impact of an enlarged tongue on an individual's life can be quite substantial. It's not just about the physical discomfort or the challenges in carrying out everyday tasks like talking or eating. The psychological impact can be profound too. From dealing with the stares and questions of others to struggling with self-esteem issues, the journey of living with macroglossia is often a challenging one. And yet, amidst the struggles, there's also resilience and strength. Many individuals with an enlarged tongue learn to adapt and overcome, finding new ways to communicate, to eat, and to live their lives to the fullest. It's a testament to the human spirit and a reminder that every person's journey is unique. Now that we have a basic understanding of what an enlarged tongue is, let's delve into the causes. You might be surprised to learn that an enlarged tongue can be caused by a variety of factors. Now let's delve into the world of genetics and congenital issues that can contribute to this condition. Our DNA, the blueprint of life, can sometimes contain quirks that manifest in unusual ways. An enlarged tongue can be one of these manifestations. Take Down syndrome, for instance. This genetic condition, which affects one in every 700 births in the United States, is often associated with physical growth delays, characteristic facial features, and mild to moderate intellectual disability. But, did you know that it can also lead to an enlarged tongue? Yes indeed, the tongue may be larger due to a combination of factors, including low muscle tone and a relatively small oral cavity. Another condition, Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, can also cause an enlarged tongue. This rare overgrowth disorder is usually present at birth and can affect many parts of the body. In this case, the tongue may be larger than usual because of an overgrowth of cells. There are also other genetic conditions that can cause an enlarged tongue. For instance, congenital hypothyroidism, a condition where the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough thyroid hormone from birth, can lead to a larger tongue. This is because low levels of thyroid hormone can cause tissues to swell, including those in the tongue. Some people may also be born with a condition known as macroglossia, which is just a fancy term for large tongue. This condition can be isolated, meaning it occurs without the presence of other disorders, or it can be associated with conditions like those we've just discussed. So, as you can see, our genes can have quite an influence on the size of our tongue, but it's important to remember that these genetic conditions are relatively rare, and that there are other factors that can contribute to an enlarged tongue. Genetics can play a big role, but they aren't the only cause of an enlarged tongue. Beyond genetics, there are also medical conditions that can lead to an enlarged tongue. Let's delve deeper into this topic. Hypothyroidism, amyloidosis, and acromegaly are three such conditions that can cause tongue enlargement. First up is hypothyroidism. This is a condition where the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough thyroid hormones, causing a slowdown in the body's metabolic processes. A key feature of hypothyroidism is the swelling of body tissues. This can affect various parts of the body, including the tongue, leading to its enlargement. Symptoms of hypothyroidism can include fatigue, weight gain, and a slower heart rate. Next, we have amyloidosis. This is a rare disease that occurs when a substance called amyloid builds up in your organs. Amyloid is an abnormal protein that is usually produced in your bone marrow and can be deposited in any tissue or organ. When amyloid deposits accumulate in the tongue, it can cause the tongue to enlarge. It's important to note that amyloidosis can affect different organs in different people, so symptoms can vary widely. Lastly, let's discuss acromegaly. This condition is caused by an overproduction of growth hormone, typically due to a non-cancerous tumor in the pituitary gland. Now, the growth hormone doesn't just affect height. It can cause the enlargement of certain body parts, including the tongue. People with acromegaly can experience a range of symptoms like joint pain, thicker skin, and changes in facial features due to the overgrowth of bones and tissues. So, there you have it. Hypothyroidism, amyloidosis, and acromegaly are three medical conditions that can lead to an enlarged tongue. Each of these conditions affects the body in unique ways, which can result in the enlargement of the tongue, among other symptoms. These medical conditions can be serious, but remember, they aren't the only causes of an enlarged tongue. As we continue to unravel this mystery, we'll explore more reasons behind tongue enlargement in our next segment. Finally, let's look at some of the other factors that can cause an enlarged tongue. Now, when we talk about trauma, it's not just physical injuries we're referring to. Yes, a blow to the mouth or a tongue bite can lead to swelling. But trauma can also be chemical, such as a reaction to certain substances or medications. For instance, some medical treatments like chemotherapy can cause inflammation and swelling of the tongue. Allergies, on the other hand, can trigger a rapid swelling of the tongue, a condition known as angioedema. This happens when the immune system overreacts to a foreign substance like certain foods or medications, and releases chemicals that cause the tongue to swell. This can be a life-threatening situation and requires immediate medical attention. Infections, too, can lead to an enlarged tongue. This typically happens when bacteria or viruses invade the tongue tissue, causing inflammation and swelling. Infections can range from common ones like strep throat or oral thrush to more serious conditions like tuberculosis or syphilis. Even certain hormonal disorders like hypothyroidism can cause the tongue to enlarge. This is due to the fact that low levels of thyroid hormone can lead to a buildup of substances in the body's tissues, including the tongue, causing it to swell. And let's not forget about genetic disorders. Conditions like Down syndrome or Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome can cause a person to be born with an enlarged tongue. This is often one of the first signs of these conditions and can be noticed at birth. In each of these situations, the enlarged tongue is a symptom, a body's way of signaling that something isn't quite right. And while it may seem like a minor inconvenience, it can have a significant impact on a person's ability to speak, eat, and even breathe. Now that we have a better understanding of what causes an enlarged tongue, let's look at the effects. An enlarged tongue can have a significant impact on a person's life. This isn't just a statement thrown into the wind, it's a reality for many who live with this condition. The effects of an enlarged tongue are varied and can alter the way we navigate our day-to-day lives. Let's start with the basics: speaking and eating. These are two activities that we often take for granted, yet, for those with an enlarged tongue, they can become daunting tasks. Imagine trying to form words when your tongue feels like a cumbersome weight in your mouth, or struggling to chew and swallow your food. The simple act of savoring a delightful meal can turn into a laborious chore, but the effects are not just confined to these basic functions. An enlarged tongue can also lead to sleep apnea, a serious sleep disorder where breathing repeatedly stops and starts. If you've ever been jolted awake by your own snoring, or felt excessively tired during the day, you might have a glimpse of what it feels like. However, for those with an enlarged tongue, this isn't a one-off experience. It's a recurring nightly event that can lead to serious health complications, such as heart disease and stroke if left untreated. Beyond these functional challenges, there are also the changes in appearance that come with an enlarged tongue. Our face is our identity, the first thing people see when they meet us. An enlarged tongue can alter the shape of the face, leading to potential self-esteem issues and social stigma. Yet, it's important to remember that these effects are not insurmountable obstacles. With proper management and treatment, people with an enlarged tongue can lead fulfilling lives. It starts with awareness, with understanding the nature of this condition and how it affects those who live with it. Understanding the causes and effects of an enlarged tongue can help us better manage this condition. So let's continue to learn, to empathize, and to support those who are navigating their way through this journey. Let's turn knowledge into power, and use that power to improve quality of life. We've covered a lot of ground today, so let's quickly recap. We kicked off the discussion by exploring the fascinating yet often misunderstood topic of the enlarged tongue. It's not just a random occurrence, it's a condition that can be attributed to several identifiable causes. We dove into the causes, breaking them down into three main categories. The first one being genetic disorders such as Down syndrome and Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, which can predispose an individual to having an enlarged tongue. These conditions are often present from birth, making early detection and management crucial. Next, we considered health conditions that can lead to an enlarged tongue. We talked about how conditions like hypothyroidism, acromegaly, and amyloidosis can all contribute to tongue enlargement. These are conditions that can occur at any stage of life and can significantly affect the size of your tongue if left untreated. Lastly, we looked at lifestyle factors and habits that can lead to an enlarged tongue. Factors such as excessive alcohol consumption, tobacco use, and even certain medications can cause your tongue to enlarge over time. It's a reminder that our daily habits can have a profound impact on our health, sometimes in ways we may not even realize. But we didn't just stop at the causes. We also discussed the effects of having an enlarged tongue. We learned that it can lead to issues with speech, eating, and even breathing. It's a condition that can significantly impact a person's quality of life. The importance of understanding these causes and effects cannot be overstated. It's not just about identifying the problem, it's about taking proactive steps to manage it. By being aware of these causes, we can make informed decisions about our health and seek appropriate medical help when needed. Remember, knowledge is power. With a better understanding of what causes an enlarged tongue, we can take the necessary steps to manage this condition effectively.